Greetings comic lovers and welcome back to Casually Comics, the channel where we chat all things comics, from reviews of comics new and old to history, anecdotes, and more. I'm Sasha and today we're going to be taking a look at a vampire Superman. The Vampire of Steel. I'm not just calling him that, the comic does too. If you're always up for a bizarre supernatural adventure, hit that like button. So this tale comes to us from the pages of the world's finest comic series. This series was published by DC from 1941 to 1986. However, it wasn't always the same. Initially it was a series of unconnected Batman and Superman stories that were collected into these issues, even though the covers would feature them together, and often Robin, giving the impression that it was a team-up book. So, clickbait. Page bait, cover bait, there we go. Now, Superman and Batman wouldn't actually appear in a proper crossover story until 1954 in issue 71, and this was purely because of budget cuts. The comic had to shrink down in size. This was largely because of the superhero lull post-World War II. Going into the Silver Age, there was a lack of interest in superheroes and reading about them, and actually other genres of comics had a brief time to shine. World's Finest after that point would almost exclusively feature team-ups between these two, though it would grow to feature other team-ups as backup stories in the issues. There are some hilariously, unintentionally shippy issues of this series, and you know at some point we're going to talk about them. Also, if you're reading it with any kind of Superbat lens on, you're going to find tons of things in these. Tons. It also makes certain issues a bit funnier to read. But today, it's vampire time. So 1978, issue 249, The Vampire of Steel, also featuring the Phantom Stranger. For reasons. The issue opens with Superman flying Batman around in a manner that looks really uncomfortable. There's been an oil spill and Batman needs to go deal with it as Bruce Wayne, so he asks Superman to come with him and he very reluctantly agrees. Barring anyone else needing me elsewhere, ellipses. Okay. He also sits on the side of Bruce's private plane while they fly there, like on the wing. Why didn't he want to sit inside? Why is he on the wing? I have so many questions. He also tells Bruce he never gives super help to corporations or private persons, even friends. Listen, Bruce, this is the last time. Yeah, this was kind of a thing for a bit in certain stories, the idea that, oh, he needs not to be biased. Also, it was a bit of a reaction to earlier stories where he would pretty much just do anything you asked him to, no matter how silly. Wasn't saving anybody. However, most of the time it just comes across as odd, like he's just not wanting to help people because he's being petty. He's in a salty mood today. They get to the oil rig and Superman lands the jet for reasons, and there they meet Captain Calamari. Yes. On top of his name, according to Bruce, he has a reputation that rivals that of Aquaman. If I was Aquaman, I'd be upset. Captain of a boat, King of Atlantis. Same thing. This is what the League thinks of him. Superman continues to be salty, and when the captain tells him maybe he should wait to dive down, he just goes, "With all due respect, Captain, I think I can handle it. See you all in about 1 minute." There are some sassy pauses in his dialogue. Just look at all the ellipses. The ellipses are the 3 dots in a row that connote a pause. Did him and Bruce have a fight off panel before this issue started? Because that would explain so many things. Anyway, spoilers, he can't handle it. He's attacked by something mysterious and has to be hauled back up, only for Bruce to declare that he's in a coma, even though he mutters magic from his coma so that Bruce knows that it's magic. He's not telling Bruce, it's just we the reader need to know that it was magic. This prompts Bruce to change into Batman and dive down himself. Also, how is he not thinking that everybody's gonna realize that he is Batman? Oh, Batman, how did you get here to this isolated oil rig? Also, oh, where's Bruce? Where'd he go? You can't take Bruce anywhere. He too is attacked, but then is mysteriously saved. He then returns on board and pitches magic as a rationale for what's happening to Captain Calamari, who soundly rejects him. However, that night, one of the crew turns into a monster, and it turns out the captain is aware of supernatural forces afoot, a creature called a Trillig, a kind of sea vampire, who is transforming his men one by one. Batman decides to explore the depths again, for reasons, and is only mildly put out while he's down there his jet is thrown into the water beside him. Instead, he's more interested in the fact that the Phantom Stranger has shown up. So, quickly, Cliff Notes, the Phantom Stranger. He's a hero with no proper backstory or origin by design, though 4 have been put forth. He used to stop supernatural hoaxes, but later became a supernatural being who dealt with them and had vague, undefined powers. He's in that phase now being the time of this comic. So him showing up and people not really being sure what he can do or why he's there, that's par for the course. You're getting the genuine experience. Confusion. It makes him narratively convenient because you can put him anywhere, but it also tends to make him a bit of a deus ex machina. Him and Batman feel that there's something suspicious about this whole operation, especially when they discover a mysterious chasm that the crew are diving in and out of. Batman returns to the ship and is then promptly accused of being the sea vampire. He's then locked up and people proceed to ask, oh, where's Bruce Wayne? But nobody puts two and two together because Batman is clearly a sea vampire. The stranger creates an illusion so that Bruce can leave and then proceed to give an excuse about where he was, and it's flimsy at best. That night, it's his turn to be attacked, and finally the big reveal that was on the cover, we have it. Superman is a vampire. The Phantom Stranger sends him running back to his bunk by shining a bright light on him. A supernatural light. The Phantom Stranger then follows the remainder of the crew who are going for a nice, totally not sketchy night dive down to the chasm in the sea. There he discovers a realm of creatures who are being drained of their energy, and also finds a magical stake, which he takes. We know it's magical because it's glowing. He brings it back to the ship, and the captain convinces Batman, who he's now been convinced is not a marine vampire, that they need to kill Superman. It's the only way. And Batman agrees really quickly. It's also fantastic, but if Superman's life must end, let it be at the hands of a suspicious pause friend. Maybe this is why Clark didn't want to bring him in the beginning. This is what he was planning the whole time. However, the Phantom Stranger is suspicious, so he goes back to the ocean and finds one of the creatures still alive and communicates with it. Meanwhile, Batman is getting ready to stake Clark as dramatically as possible, right as the sun sets. So thankfully, the Phantom Stranger can come in and yank the stake away. It turns out that Captain Calamari was the villain the whole time. Say it ain't so. Him and his crew, pirates. The oil spill disrupted the creatures in the rift, who are forces of good, so wanted to stop these evil pirates. Superman was a good vampire who was revealing their true monstrous forms with his marine vampire powers, which is why Bruce wasn't harmed during the attack. The Phantom Stranger turns the remaining crew into coral with the stake. They go and check on the crew that returned to monsters, and they've all killed and eaten each other. And Superman is magically turned back to normal. All is right with the world. Also, he remembers nothing, and the issue ends with him complaining when Bruce asks him to go and get the ride out of the ocean by saying that he doesn't do favors for friends, even ones who just saved his life, even though admittedly they were the ones who were going to take it. Yeah, this isn't the best story in the world. Superman is barely a vampire, the plot is unnecessarily convoluted, and the Phantom Stranger takes up more time than Clark and Bruce combined. Still, I got to say the Vampire of Steel and share with you a salty Superman who doesn't want to do anything for anyone he knows. Only strangers. Phantom Strangers. No, okay, I'm so sorry. The backup stories in this look fun though. In the one directly following this, someone believes they found out Oliver Queen's secret identity, only they think that he's Batman, which is hilarious for several reasons. Do you think the Vampire of Steel needs another chance to shine? Let me know down below, and thanks so much for watching Casually Comics. Please do all the YouTube things. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification so that you never miss a vid. I'm Sasha, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.